What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another live stream painting session. Today is going to be a little different. I mean, the time is different. Obviously, it's the morning time for me. Not sure what time of day it is for you, but this is a different kind of setup, so there should be less noise going on and stuff like that. These are just regular oil paints. This is just white. This is a lemon yellow. This is some Old Holland yellow. I think it's called Gamboge Lake Extra, but don't worry about what color that is. These are basically yellow ochres. Then this is a burnt sienna. These are reds, brown, and then black and blue. So that's what's on the palette over here. And I am mostly just testing out the setup. Now I do see some playback issues with my streaming setup. So like this is just more of just me stopping by and saying hello. Like I said, I've had some issues with my internet along with the streaming software, and I've had issues. Hold on, this part's gonna disappear. And I've had issues with YouTube. So I've had all kinds of issues going on with technology. And okay, I think it works now with technology and basically everything. And I was sick last week, so it's been a while. Welcome, Alec. Thank you. I'm doing better. I was sick last week. I still got some stomach pains, but I'm all good. Hey, Marius, Mark L, Summit. Welcome. Yeah, the problem was mainly on my side. So basically, we've got some Old Hollands, we've got Gamblins, and we have these Artist Loft. And I'm going to use this. This is Payne's Gray or whatever. It was on clearance, about $3 from Michael's. So I've got a bunch of cheaper paints that seem to be doing just fine. The cheap Artist Loft will do just fine compared to the Old Holland, as long as you manage your values and all that stuff. So I'm going to tone this canvas with the Payne's Gray. It looks kind of like a bluish. So I wanted something gray, dark and gray, so I can draw some of the skin tones onto it. Now you see how blue it is? So I'm just thinning out the paint with odorless mineral spirits. Hey Patricia, Summit. I've been alright. Took a couple weeks off. Some of it was more just being sick. The other part was the streaming setup wasn't really working for me. So a bunch of excuses, but basically I'm back. As long as this little test stream works out okay, then we're going to be doing some more streams. And we're going to play it by ear. I'm going to do streams at, I guess, different times of the day to see what works. Internet-wise, what works best for me, what works best for just the living situation here. So now we've toned the surface completely with this Payne's Gray, which is kind of a blue. You might see some lines. I see the lines on my screen. They're in and out. But anyway, I know you're not here for just the little lines. You're most likely wondering why I've been gone for a while and will I remain. So yes, keep on asking any questions that you have. Thank you so much for the likes. We got 6 likes already, so that's pretty cool. You've got the Me camera. I don't know if it's gonna work out or not. Again, I've tested this setup a few times already, and it's worked every time, minus the start of today. So, well, hopefully it works out. I've got some brushes in a container of linseed oil, and I'm gonna use this one to draw. So just using the same Payne's Gray, I'm going to start drawing some outlines. And this will be my eraser brush. Many of you are familiar with this concept. You can use this as an eraser. So The image is right up there. So you have the image you can look at. It's just a picture from Unsplash, not Unsplash. I think it's Pixabay. I don't know, whatever. It's a copyright free. That's all that matters for me. Hey Carol, bonjour, bonjour. Alright, so let's draw the face, and the face is going to be pretty big. I'm going to ignore the hand, and I'm just going to focus on a somewhat realistic looking face. Last time I started a bigger painting, and then after that some stuff went down, so I didn't get to get to work. Basically, Lucy got a gum grafting, like a mouth surgery, and I don't know if any of you have ever had one of those before, but it's excruciating, like the recovery. Not to put personal life on blast, but yeah, that took a little while, and then I got sick. And then I had a little bit of kind of more like artist block. Some of you have experienced it already. Those of you that have been painting a while. Just trying to figure out what to do, you know what I mean? Like with the streams and everything. And a couple months ago, I was doing different materials. Like I was doing watercolor, I was doing pastels. What I did, oil pastel, soft pastel, painted a bunch of people from the Billiard Academy, which I'm still a member of, by the way. Just not really. I've done some commissions for members over there, so I've been more, I guess, in commission land. So face is blocked in, light and shadow. It's kind of relatively close enough, but this is okay. This is the size for the face that I want. Okay, good. I'm glad you can see the reference and everything. So now I'm just going to sketch in something dark for the eye socket. I did a couple practice streams before doing this with I tried to use the water mixable like I did last year, or I guess it might be 2 years ago now, and I just couldn't really get into it anymore. Now when I titled this just a chill painting session, I really do mean just a chill painting session. I'm not really here to try to sell anything to you, or try to say that I've discovered some new fantastic way of painting, or trying out a different material. This is the same old regular oil paints. This is just a plexiglass, piece of plexiglass that I'm going to put in the freezer after I'm done. Behind it there's a bunch of dried paint, and we're going to just block this shape in. So feel free to ask any questions. I'm not in any kind of like tutorial or educational type mindset right now. I'm more just hanging out. And I hope that this type of video will be something that you'll play along throughout the day. Again, this is morning for me. Okay, blocked in the face roughly. Had some Super Mario music playing on my earbuds. So my favorite is the one where Mario is in like this aquatic world. So I played that. So I just like to have some kind of music. Now I'm listening to the Deadpool, like a prayer. It's so serious. Such a serious song. I like the song though. There's so many memes with that song on Facebook. It's hilarious. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and block in some skin tone. I'm going to use the eraser brush now because I don't really have to push the eraser brush around very much. I'm going to get the palette knife and move the Payne's Gray. Relocate it down here. Let's see, if you put your paints in the freezer and thus freeze your paints, they don't need defrosting before you... not really. I mean, kind of, I'd say, you know, I don't know where my box is. I put it in a box sometimes when I'm feeling responsible. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it about 10 minutes. That'll be fine. They don't like freeze, if you know what I mean. Oh, here's something interesting I wanted to share with you. Right up top is a not super expensive color, but it's a transparent mummy. It's not a very expensive color. It's from you can see the name there, Rublev, made by Natural Pigments. You see it right there. It's not so bad of a color. It's a good skin color. It's basically burnt sienna, if you ask me. So right underneath of it is burnt sienna from Artist Loft. The cheap stuff, right? It was on clearance. This cost me $7. Times are tough. So Rublev and Artist Loft. Yeah, you would have told me that like 10 years ago and I would have laughed, but look. They're kind of the same. Burnt sienna is burnt sienna. They're going to look similar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mix, or just add it onto the canvas. Now, the burnt sienna, it will mix with the Payne's Gray. So that's actually something that I want. This is going to be a wet on wet underpainting. And the value range is kind of specific because I'm going to want to paint lights and darks onto this. Appreciate all of you that signed on today. Such a random time, I know. Morning time for me, which is actually a little bit better for my schedule. But I don't know, we'll see how things go. Nose is a little bit long, kind of like a bouguereau. Pushing all this stuff up, not worried about details. Mouth, not even worried about the texture of the paint or anything like that, just the placement is fine. Oh, good, Bean Pot. I was kind of hoping for that comment. That just made my day. You know, with the accessibility of the internet, I would assume that many of you right now are at work. So if I'm keeping you company at work, that's you know, that's a success for me. I should be able to do this around this time pretty much almost every day except for Mondays and Wednesdays. I do some dog walking those days. Okay, so now we've blocked in the skin tone. Now I'm gonna go back and draw a little bit more. Starting with the hair. So I'm gonna draw with color. Again, this is kind of improv, not really. At this point I won't even talk that much. Like I said, it's more of a chill painting session. I may be here for a long time, or I may be here for just an hour. Depends on how I feel. And I got my headphones on so I can just kind of chill. You said you had 30 minutes to go with work, cup of tea. All right. Awesome. So drawing with color just around the face. As you can see, I'm kind of always lifting my head. It's part of the reason I put this camera, because sometimes my head, you see that my hair blocks the scene, so now you can see why. A shout out to all of you at work watching this stream live, and those of you not at work right now. Alright, so the hair is somewhat stated in there now. And for some reason, I like to make a mark for the eyebrows. Hey Shavu, welcome, welcome. A lot of viewers from like the old time, like the 4 p.m. my time, would sign on and say it's like 1 a.m. for them. So I'm waiting on those viewers because this is going to be a lot earlier for them. Not 1 a.m. Still be kind of close to evening, or evening time. Why I'm blocking in the eyebrows right now, I don't really know. They're probably going to move around. And now I'll just use this to pinpoint the bottom of the nose. A little bit of drawing there. Top middle of the upper lip. Mouth. Looks like her eyes are closed right now, but we'll draw eyes in there later. Now I need something for the shadow. It's 4:50 p.m. in London. That's a much better time for you, I would think. I would think it's a better time for you than 1 a.m. This is an Old Holland color. It's totally unnecessary. I'm just using what I have. I actually ran out of yellow ochre, believe it or not. This is raw sienna, Gamboge Lake Extra. Basically, they're like a yellow ochre-ish color to me. Nothing special here. I'm just trying to use up my paint tubes before I buy any more. Everything is so much more expensive here in the US. After, I don't know, it's been like probably 4 years since I've had to completely buy the basic paint tubes. I've had so many tubes of yellow ochre, so many tubes of ultramarine blue, and this is a phthalo blue from the same artist loft. You're more awake than usual. That's good. You know, to be honest, that that 4 p.m. time for me was kind of tough because it was tough. This time right now is a little bit easier for me. Mainly because it's more quiet. I'm in a studio apartment and I'm on the 14th floor. And around 4 p.m., the kids get off like around 3, I think. So at 4 p.m., like you could hear like dun, 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 like the noises, and right now it's pretty chill. So the aim here is just chill. I just want this to be more chill. Not so high energy or anything like that. Just chill. More of like a meditative kind of relaxing time. Now this is kind of turning out to be greenish, which I don't mind. But I'm going to put in a little bit of the alizarin into the green. So that's from the gamboge, but honestly I don't care if it looks greenish. It's going to look even greener once we add something for the lips, which we're about to do. I don't have cadmium red on here on purpose. This is a Windsor orange. It's a pyro orange. Look at that. When I mix it in here, it's not a very bright color. And I really don't want to mess around with cadmium. I don't want to mess around with cadmiums or lead these days. I don't think there's much of a need for those colors, those materials. I mean, of course, cadmium is nice and opaque, so obviously it's still going to continue to be used. But I don't feel like I need it. As the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race, but there is no race. There's no hurry. The oil paint, it allows you to have some more control than than the traditional, and a lot more control painting wet on wet than acrylic. Though acrylic does have its uses, like you're gonna paint something architectural, then I would say acrylic would be better. Tear ducts. Another round of skin tone, and then maybe some background stuff. You see how the pain's gray underneath. It's kind of it's helping with the skin tone. It's kind of like an active tone. It does get kind of tiring to lift your arm. Again, this canvas is way above my eye level, just so my head doesn't get in the way. I will have an ad-free version of this for Patreon. For my online classes, it's set up in a very step-by-step kind of fashion. So pretty much all the videos that I need for that are already done. But I'll still continue to add some stuff. And we'll turn this into middle value brush. I like to have a middle brush light brush and a dark brush. I'll dedicate this stream to those of you that just need more of a nice and quiet pause, a relaxation for the day. Things have been hectic, crazy in the world. This is our escape from that. And I kind of always struggled with the pace of painting videos. It was a little easier when it was a tutorial, pre-recorded video with editing. Before circa 2020. But I think the pace, is, especially with short videos getting bigger and bigger these days, it's been kind of tough. But today I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna paint at my own pace. Just not that fast. Oh, Mark L, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Pounds, not euros. You remember? Thank you, thank you. I will definitely use that for another paint tube for sure. Thank you so much, Mark L. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And I'll share a story with you actually with something that happened right before the stream. I kid you not, my streaming software, not the streaming software, but my YouTube webpage, because I hadn't logged in to this for a while, it saved a version of my stream that I did as a test, and I didn't monetize that one because it was a test. And I spent probably 30 minutes freaking out because I couldn't monetize my stream. I even looked it up on my phone. I was like, am I not able to make money with streaming anymore? My life is over. But thank you so much, Mark Ellis. It was like panic mode for a good 30 minutes or so. A little story time. Thank you so much, Mark L, for the super chat. That feature was almost not available because I hadn't used this in a while. I don't think it was YouTube's fault. I think it's just I hadn't opened the site in that long. Definitely will use that for some paint tubes for sure. Thank you so much. I'll use this middle value brush to block in the sclera, the white of the eyes. So thank you so much for the super chat again. See if I can put a like on it. How do I do that? Press the like button. Thank you, thank you. So it also helped me figure out the distance between the eyes. That's pretty close to how it looks in the picture. I do appreciate the contributions, everyone. I will say another thing. YouTube is, I feel like it's in trouble compared to sites like Facebook. I think Facebook is actually getting bigger from what I've seen. I don't know. Have any of your other YouTubers noticed that? Facebook is getting bigger than YouTube, it seems. Like, in terms of, like, the videos, I mean. I think because of the short videos, I don't know. You got rid of your Facebook account some time ago. Okay. That's actually a good thing for me. For other YouTubers. Randy, long time no speak. How you doing? I'm doing well. All good, Randy. I made a mistake of eating a whole Chipotle burrito yesterday. So my stomach kind of hurts. When I was 14 or 13 or whatever, I could eat two of those things. I put in some dark accents now. A decline in the arts community on YouTube. Did a video about it 12 months ago. Yeah, I definitely noticed that. There was a time, like, in the summer or whatever, where definitely I noticed it was way, way stronger than it is right now. But, these things go up and down. I do want to, and don't just want to, I have to start selling these things, creating a different business for art. I mean, I'm already doing commissions, right? Like, but that's like small time. That's in the academy, the pool academy I'm a member of. But it's time to start kind of branching out a little bit. Not have all the eggs in one basket, so to speak. But yeah, I definitely noticed it. Add a little bit of red here. The nose is pretty petite. I'm gonna put those accents closer to each other right there. Gives me decent symmetry. You can use the same color for the mouth. We're gonna go back to the middle values. I kind of want to start painting a tad bit more realistic. I mean, obviously this is not anywhere near that yet, but it's been a thought in my head. I've always been kind of an advocate to paint more free, more loose. And I still want to do that, but maybe we can err on the side of a little bit more realistic. Not in the detail sense, but more in the form and value sense. Like really slowing down and looking, spending more time looking. Patricia. Oh, thanks for joining the Patreon. Yeah, anyone that's on Patreon, feel free to message me whenever. You know, I tend to respond pretty fast to anything on the messenger. And even though I've been kind of out, like in a sort of a lull with painting, I'll still respond to you. But painting is my, it's something that I get drawn to without even having to do anything. It just brings me back to different times of my life where stuff kind of made more sense. And you see the gray is mixing perfectly with everything. You can probably see on the Me camera, the camera featuring my face, and I kind of move back a lot. It's important to, now obviously I would stand, right, if I could. The camera is right above my head, so you can kind of get an idea of where that camera is. So space is kind of tight. Thanks for all the likes, everyone. We're at 16 likes. Pretty good. Yeah, so if I can manage to get your interest in anyone's interest in just relaxing, just taking a step back from whatever stress you're dealing with today or have been dealing with. You know, the stress that you just don't tell people. Whatever it is that you're struggling with. I hope that this helps. Just take a step back. Just kind of relax. Distract you from any negativity. Even if it's just for a moment. That would be awesome. Welcome back, Randy. A different brush just to throw in something for the background. Taken out of my container with the linseed oil. This is just the Payne's Gray. Raphael, you wrote, do you ever get stuck in a painting, like it's a little bit off but you can't correct it? Think it's better for a longer painting to get it right, or to go for another painting to get practice? Oh yeah, I get stuck all the time. And sometimes it's best to just kind of put it aside anytime you're feeling stuck and take a lunch break or something and return. A lot of times it just looks different after you've been staring at it for a long time. And it's kind of more mental than anything. We just get to kind of, I guess the word is to target fixated on likeness, or just like how accurate something is. So it's a natural occurrence. I've been kind of stuck for a while with painting in general. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it. I'm still stuck, like trying to figure out how to sell them, like how to make a career out of it. Like it's the same like kind of problem. Now, obviously I have a career as a content creator. I've had that career for a while now, but it's the same kind of thinking. You're stuck in a problem and your mind is in a loop. And sometimes the best thing is distance. Give yourself distance from what you're working on, and sometimes when you return, you just get an idea that's just like out of the blue. But yes, I do suggest taking some time and definitely consider it practice for sure. Everything is practice. That's something I've learned from playing pool, which is, I would consider it a sport, is, even in competition, it's, what you want is to be playing just like you do in practice. In practice, we're all superheroes. But then once the pressure kicks in, like once we're in a tournament, it's like, it's all mental. Like you want to focus on being the pool player you are during practice. And it's mental. Same thing with painting. It's mental. Yeah, no problem, Raphael. But yeah, going back to the like painting and sales thing, I've already thought about this, but I will be selling these, but I'll be using my Venmo. I'll put my Venmo information and I'll just number them. So this will be number 1. I'll title it on the video. And depending on how long I paint, right? If I paint for like an hour, I'll sell it to you for under, and still, this is still like, I consider this a chill painting session, but obviously I gotta make a living, so I'll tell you some businessy stuff, right? But I'll title this just painting 1, whatever. I'll just number them. Paintings that I'll sell. If you want it, just go on my Venmo, just write 1. You're interested in painting 1. And probably under 100 if it takes me an hour or up to 2 hours. Just an idea. Now, clearly I'm not there yet. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell anything right now because I haven't put the Venmo on here yet. But this time of day is good for me. Hopefully it's good for you. Seems like we have more people than my what I was getting before, but I know that that varies. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow a landscape or a still life. If I'm here tomorrow. I said that last time. I didn't show up for like 2 months. So if I'm here tomorrow, probably a landscape or a still life. And I think I'm gonna stick with oil paint. Traditional oil paint. It really doesn't have to be that toxic or toxic at all. The mineral spirits that I have, it's not a lot. It's not even enough to fill this, right? It's really not that much. I got no cadmiums on here. Yeah, this is just like an $8 sheet of plexiglass that I'm using for a palette. It works really well. You don't have to spend $50 on a New Wave palette. But you do want to be careful with the edges with plexiglass. You don't want to cut your hands. Now we're almost at the point where I'm going to switch to sable brushes and basically just softer brushes for soft edges, small planes. Almost at that point now. Don't want to rush any of it though. Okay, you wrote last time you painted was in 2023. Haven't painted since, unfortunately. Have you ever painted something you thought, I don't know how I pulled that off? afraid to try to paint again? Oh yeah, definitely. I felt that way. Um, I felt that way about my distant lands or distant mountains video. I've never really been able to pull that off since. Like, so many people were interested in it. I painted a Loch Ness monster and stuff in it, and haven't been able to create something like that since. But there's a lot of artist block that goes into not painting, and sometimes the best thing to do is just get the paints out. Like, just do it. Like, just defy the feeling of not wanting to paint and just take the brushes out, get the paints out, and like, look, this transparent mummy was so old that I tried to squeeze the paint out with a paint tube rolling thing, and it broke. Like, the paint came out from back there. So painting helps you, Randy. That's good. Painting, in a way, is very therapeutic to me, and I want to share that with everyone. And for a long time, I've been trying to share the technical side of things, like how to paint. But now, with the way that things are, I want to share more of the therapeutic side of painting. Part of why my brush strokes are a little bit slow. Yeah, sometimes just pulling out the brushes and just going at it is the best thing to do. I do want to share the therapeutic side of painting. You know, I'm in my 30s now, right? So I started all this in my 20s. In my 20s, it was just like, how can I paint the most realistic thing, make the most comprehensive tutorials, and it's all been done, right? It's been done. But where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? It's a tough question. I don't know the answer. I do want to sell these things. I do want to create a body of work that I can sell, and I can't for the life of me figure out the subject matter. Most people don't want a portrait of somebody they don't know. It's nearly impossible to sell. But I'll try it anyway. Like I said, I'm going through that same thing that you're all going through. If you haven't picked up a brush in a while, or if you've been sitting around trying to figure out what to do with art, I'm in the same place. I'm in the same place. A painted hand on my palette. Oh, that's funny. That's actually kind of funny. KR, you like the Waterhouse style? Oh, I didn't even know I was doing that. I guess I've done so many Waterhouse paintings. Yeah, something about the red hair, it just kind of shows up, doesn't it? I didn't think about that. I really didn't. didn't think about that. And artist block is a real thing. You know, content creators go through this all the time, like trying to figure out what to do. I mean, after getting so much hype for certain videos, it's like, well, where do you go from there? Sometimes you just kind of head anywhere, head in any kind of direction other than static. I could have easily painted a tomato today. Now, obviously, there's a hand here blocking this, but I'm gonna have to edit the hand out of there. I don't want to paint the hand. Maybe later I'll come back to this and paint the hand in there, but not today. Like I said, this is mainly a trial run of future uploads. He said it helps others when you're doing these live streams. Like now I'm really in the mood to get my palette knife. Yeah, get the palette knife out and just mix some random paints and anything. And there's something so, I don't know, like visceral about just mixing paint. I don't know, something about it. But I'm so glad it helps. That's what I'm aiming for with these videos, with this kind of new series that I'm trying to do. Not so much, here's how you do this. I mean, obviously, if you want to know how I paint this, go ahead and ask. But more of the therapeutic side, like what can painting do for us? Alec, you said you love landscapes. You said I want to be in my painting, so I have it on my wall as an escape. Holiday in the living room. Awesome. That's definitely still something I want to do, is to do landscapes. Before I disappeared last time, I mentioned that I wanted to go on a trip to paint landscapes. I haven't done it, but now as springtime is approaching, I think it might be an idea for me. Go out there and paint some landscapes in nature. I mentioned West Virginia because I used to ride motorcycles over there. So West Virginia is where I'll probably go to go paint landscapes on my little painting expedition. Maybe bring my camera, record some of it. Yeah, West Virginia has some of the nicest landscape that I've ever seen in real life. The mountains, the birds, the trees. I mean, I don't know. It's been a while. Maybe it's all different now. I used to ride motorcycles back in like 2019, 2012, all the way up to probably all the way up until 2017. But yeah, plein air painting. I don't want to ride motorcycles anymore, though. That's kind of like a 20s kind of mentality that I had. It's just I don't want to deal with that risk anymore. But I'm enjoying this. I can you can't hear it, I don't think, but I can hear all that traffic outside that I am not a part of. And when I go practice pool, when I go play pool, all I gotta do is walk across the street. I don't have to drive. Very ideal. Except when someone pulls the fire alarm in the apartment and they're working on one elevator. I kid you not. We only had one out of the two elevators working because they were servicing the elevator. And someone pulled the fire alarm. And it was just kind of chaos. Fire trucks came in and everything, so it's not always idyllic for me. Well, it happens. Rather be safe than sorry, though. Hey, Aline. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you like the surprise. Surprise, surprise. I am back at a different time. So if anyone is here that is not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe and whatever they say, turn on notifications. So whenever I go live, you should be notified. I'm thinking this time of day is probably best for me. Hopefully it works out for most of you. Okay, R, you wrote. Find it difficult to mix colors with your brush. Any tips on how to start alternating between palette knife and brush? I'd suggest with a brush, if you're not already, create a string. Like, see how it's like light to dark down here and then some bluish colors off to the side. But if you can create a string, light brush, middle brush, dark brush, it'll help when you're focusing on values. Now, transitioning from palette knife to brush can be difficult if you are mixing very much like value 1, value 2, value 3, color 1, color 2, color 3 with a palette knife. Though palette knife can get you some of the most clear color mixtures. Brush, you kind of want to mix in strings if we're talking about portraits. Now, for anything other than portrait, like a landscape or a cityscape or something like that, where there's more than just the skin tone, like there could be a mountain, there could be some trees, and maybe cars if we're talking about a cityscape where there's different things. And pre-mix with your palette knife as usual, and then use your brush and assign each pre-mixture with your palette knife to a brush. Say I'm painting a red car, a blue car, and a green car, I'll pre-mix with the palette knife and then go in with the brush for the red, the blue, and then the green. That way you can organize your brushes with respect to your palette knife mixtures. You can use them both. Doesn't have to be one or the other. Yeah, no problem. You can use them both, palette knife and paintbrushes. Appreciate all the likes, everyone. Thank you. We're at 20. The very first time I sold a painting, whew, that's a long time ago. Do I even remember? That's a good question. I don't know if I remember. Someone may have asked me this before, and I might have remembered, but man, 33 now, and I started painting, like trying to professionally paint when I was 17. I've always been painting all my life. You know, I remember selling drawings when I was in elementary school. Dragon Ball Z drawings, I would sell them, if anybody remembers what that is. Dragon Ball Z drawings, I think I would sell them for like $1, or like for lunch money. elementary school, so I must have, I don't know, this is over 20 years ago, or like more, what, 30 years ago? No, I wasn't 3 years old. 10, I don't know. I do remember selling Dragon Ball Z drawings, in particular Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I remember drawing that with colored pencils. That's back when like those like gel pens were getting popular. I was using that for like the blonde hair, the green eyes of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Long, long time ago. But then again, not that long ago. I'm only 33. That's not really old. I turn 34 next month. Which still I know isn't that old. 30s now is like 20s back in the 80s and 70s. Now my first like professional type painting, I don't remember. I think probably when I was in art school. I do remember being in a show. Oh man, so long ago. A show somewhere in Rockville, Maryland. I sold a small figure painting. But if you haven't figured out, I don't sell much these days. So most of my memory of sales was from back when I was doing live streams in 2020. Yeah, do you remember DBZ? Run from school to catch the latest episode. Yep. Of course, 69 is not that old. His name is RJ, one of the members of the Academy, Billiard Academy. He's 81, and he is kicking people's butt in pool. Mainly in one pocket. That's his game. But 81. And what he told me was to be like him, to get to live to his age and be as active as he is, you have to start exercising a lot in your 30s, which I will do more of, I guess. Haven't done too much. I have lost some weight since the last time you saw me, but not that much. Now, I'll probably see him later today. Around 2 o'clock, I'll head to go train. I like to go train when it's mostly empty. But RJ does show up around that time. But if you're liking this, that is a good thing, because these streams will probably be around this time. I apologize to Grace. I know that you're usually busy at this time. And was the name that I always mispronounced? I think Giselle or Gazelle, I think. Trying to remember the name. Another viewer that I think could only make the later time. Hey Jonas, welcome, welcome. So this painting isn't quite as far as I want it to be. Like I said, this is more of a relaxing session. I did say I'd do a landscape tomorrow, which I still am thinking of, but I may continue this tomorrow. I don't know. We'll just play it all by ear. Yeah, the background starting to get in the way. More of the Payne's gray. Take care, Carol. Thanks for joining. Oops. That was a little bit of phthalo blue. This is about to get really blue. Yeah, so clearly this won't be finished today. As I said, around 2, I'll probably go to practice. I got a virtual classroom to do for one student. So tomorrow, depending on how I feel about this painting, we'll return to it or we'll start a landscape. The best part is if I do continue this tomorrow, I'll be able to make a time lapse of this, a more finished painting. We'll see. And of course, anyone that may be wondering, these videos will be, you'll be able to watch it after the stream is over. I'm sure you're already familiar with how that works. That's way too light. push some of the darks around the eyes before we head out. And the palette will go in the freezer the way it is. So we shall see what it looks like. But hopefully you like the new setup. No helicopter or ambulance noise from outside. Painting is still rather loose, which is good. I don't want to tighten up too much too soon if I'm trying to make this more realistic. Still leave it open to changes. We push the darks a little more now. But yeah, that comment was kind of clever about me choosing the red chair. I didn't even think about it with the Waterhouse style paintings that I did before. John William Waterhouse studies. But yeah, we'll definitely push this further. I feel like it should be pushed further at a later time. Okay, good enough for today. These brushes will go in the container with linseed oil. This is linseed oil. Put them in there, and it won't. I don't have to clean the brushes. Do I recommend this? No. If you do have an art sink, then clean these brushes with mineral spirits first, then soap and water. But if you don't have an art sink, then that's the best option. This will go in the freezer. I'll just take it off when I end the stream. And it'll go into the freezer as is. And we may return to this next time, or we'll return to a landscape. Not really sure. Like I said, this was mostly a test. But I hope that you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for all the likes. We've got 23 likes. Now I will ask if there are any last minute questions on the chat before I head out. Any last minute questions? I'll wait for like 2 minutes or so. Oh man. Have a good night, Mark L. Or in this case, a good late afternoon. It's 1:43 p.m. Like I said, this time frame works better for me. I get to do this stream. I get to do some Patreon work. I get to practice pool a little bit. I am training for some tournaments, upcoming tournaments, so hopefully that'll pay out a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes, I think. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video is educational for you as well as relaxing. So if you haven't, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. That way, if you press on notifications, then you'll know whenever I go live on YouTube. That being said, thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best in all of your artwork, and I'll see you next time.